George Winfield isn't the only victim. My mother, Eleanor, died in the OR shortly before I made it to the hospital. You think it's a homicide? Maxwell asked. I've got the report right here in front of me. Dr. Winfield slammed into the overpass at full speed. No skid marks. No sign of any braking. Officers on the scene said there was no sign of alcohol, but given the victim's age, it might have been a medical emergency. What makes you think otherwise? When is the autopsy? Joanna asked. Gavin Turner, our ME, was out of town over the weekend, so he's a little backed up. He's got 2 cases in front of Dr. Winfield's at the moment. With all of them presumably natural causes, he'll most likely do them in the order in which they arrived. A suspected homicide would move to the head of the queue, wouldn't it? Yes, but I think the autopsy is going to reveal that George Winfield was shot to death by someone wielding a rifle, complete with a laser targeting system. I've seen how badly mangled my mother's body was. If George's body was in similar shape, it's possible the entry wound was overlooked during the initial investigation. After all, it was the middle of the night and he was already dead. People see what they expect to see. If the EMTs on the scene regarded George as an old codger who had suffered a heart attack or stroke, it's not likely they would go looking for a bullet wound. A laser sight? Maxwell asked. Where is all this coming from? My mother, Joanna said. She regained consciousness briefly as they were taking her into the OR. She insisted they tell me about the red dot. But she didn't specify which red dot? No. But how many important red dots are there in the world? I think the dot appeared on George's chest. The next thing you know, kerblammo, they slammed into the overpass. Gordon Maxwell was silent for a moment. Okay then, he said. This changes things. I'll give Doc Turner a call and see if he can move Dr. Winfield's autopsy to the head of the line. And I'll get my homicide guys on the case too. This means we'll need to take a look at the wreckage in a whole new light. DOT has shut down the overpass while they examine it to make sure it's still structurally sound. But if this is a crime scene, we'll need to take a much closer look in daylight hours. Thank you, Joanna said. Give me your number, Maxwell said. Depending on what shows up in the autopsy, my chief homicide detective, Dave Holman, will be in touch. Then, after a pause, he added, So sorry for your loss. Thank you, Joanna said. She had heard those words so many times today that her response was almost mechanical. But for right now, let's concentrate on catching the SOB who did it. Yes, ma'am, Maxwell said. I couldn't agree with you more. Joanna ended the call and then looked anxiously around the lobby, searching for a restroom. Right over there, Butch said, reading her mind and pointing. I'll be right here when you finish. Then we're going to go have breakfast and talk. By the time they left the hospital, Joanna's phone had registered 14 voicemails, including 2 separate messages from Marla Shackelford of the Bisbee Bee. Joanna didn't bother playing any of them right then. She wasn't ready. What did Bob say? That he'll hold off on coming for now, but that both he and Marcy will be here for the funerals. That makes sense. Jim Bob and Eva Lou were already at the house when I called Jenny, so they got the news at the same time she did. It's a good thing they were on hand. Jenny has been a brick, but she fell all to pieces when I told her. I'm glad Eva Lou was there to take charge. So am I, Joanna said. They had stopped at a Denny's on Indian School and had chosen a booth as close to the back of the restaurant as possible. I took the liberty of calling Burton Kimball, Butch said, once the waitress had delivered Butch's coffee and taken their order. I hope you don't mind. I remembered George mentioning that Burton had drawn up their new wills a while back, and I thought he should be in the know. Good call, Joanna said. No telling how long it would have taken for me to get around to that. According to Burton, he has letters regarding their wishes for final arrangements, and naturally, Higgins & Sons is the mortuary of choice. Joanna nodded. No big rush on that score.